Yo, what's good? It's Fire here, back from the video answer, and we're hopping into my UAB offensive ebook in College Football 26. This one was very highly requested, and there's a lot of good formations in here. Before we get into the video, make sure you guys do hit that like, subscribe to the channel down below. I post all of these ebooks for free, but there is also a written version available for purchase down below. That link will be in the description and pinned in the comment section to my website. And you can purchase the ebook for $7.99. It includes every single written setup in this video, all the coverages that they beat in the order that we go through them in this video as well. It makes it super easy to learn, super easy to reference, and I've never had a bad review on one of those ebooks. Also, there's a membership available on my website. You can purchase that membership at monthly or yearly plans, and you can get access to everything that's on the site. There's going to be now 5 ebooks on the site in Penn State, Bowling Green, Oregon State, just a lot of different ones, and yeah, definitely makes it worth it. I guess it would be 4, but yeah. So what do we like out of UAB? We like, and I am using Texas Tech because I don't want to use UAB because they're lower rated, but what do we like out of UAB? So firstly, you have a trips tight end, which curl flat is good, X spot is good, and we'll of course go over everything explicitly when we go over those formations, but bunch tight end is one that you see a lot nowadays. And bunch tight end is definitely becoming one of the better formations in the game, and there's a lot to like out of this specific one. We love mesh dig in the middle there. We have X spot in the middle. We have tight end corner spacing. We have verts wide delay. Whips is a very good play, and then slot option. So let's go ahead and set our audibles for bunch tight end. We will be starting out in this formation. So first thing we're going to do, we already have mesh dig in there, so we're going to throw in verts wide delay. We are going to throw in whips, and then we're actually going to go with the RPO as our run, which is going to be the RPO alert bubble, which is so very difficult to stop. So right there. Now I did post a gameplay on bunch tight end out of the Houston and Tulane playbook. It has a few extra plays, but this one is very, very solid as well. So we are going to start out in the play, which is mesh dig. So that's going to be our play in the middle there. And I'm going to try and switch between these coverages as often as possible. But without further ado, let's just jump straight into it. So first setup, very simple. We love this play, and it's a good quick snap play. You can just come out here, and all you really do is streak Y, 2 drags and a crosser, and this will beat, basically most coverages in the game. 15 yards there. But just very simple. And the reason it's good is because you do just really can quick snap. And quick snapping is one of the best concepts in the game. One thing that you will see a lot of people do is they'll come out with it maybe on the wide side of the field like this. Maybe their opponent sets up their adjustments while they get to the line of scrimmage, and then they'll basically just quickly flip the play, streak Y, and then snap the ball, as soon as they get to the line here. And it's difficult to get those adjustments reset. Now the crosser is not as great. We have ways of kind of maximizing the crosser a little bit better, but that is a very good play against man coverage. For facing just a stock man-to-man coverage, then that crosser should get wide. Nobody's blocking. Awesome. I don't know why, but I need it. So if it is man-to-man coverage and we actually get some time here, then this crosser does get some nice separation against man-to-man coverage. It's just a good quick snap. 2 drags and a crosser, very simple first setup. Next setup we like, and I'm going to go through decently quick because there is a lot of formations. We're going over 4 formations and 4 setups. We're going over the bunch tight end, Y off trips, tight Y off, and trips tight end. So second setup we're going to do is streak Y, and we are going to corner X. Now what you're going to do with X is you're going to custom stem it. So we're going to press Y, X, and then down on L1 and move that left stick all the way down. It's going to look like this, and snap the ball. So this is our next setup. It's again kind of a quick snap setup, only really those 2 hot routes instead of the other ones, but this is going to open up definitely one of those routes depending on the coverage. It's a good man beater with the corner route. And then that was cover 3. You see how much it actually opens up the drag. If it's cover 2, you may be able to hit this corner route, but honestly, what the corner route's really good at doing is just pulling up those coverages. So you can kind of hit it there, but you see how much it opened up the drag, and that's kind of your key there. And then in the event that it is man-to-man coverage, what you can get is a easy man beater. And this play would be probably good because you have the streak that can also just get open against man-to-man coverage, but this route eats, and there's an easy high ball pass lead over the top. So very solid setup there. Our next one is going to be, we're going to keep that corner route like this, and that was a look at actually custom stemming it, so you hold L1 down on the left stick. And then we're actually going to streak B and put Y on a slot fade. Now this is a popular setup you'll see a lot, and we're just going to leave A and R1 the same. We have some similar setups out of this look that we'll go into later, don't worry. We even have some of those in the trips, but this is a very good setup for a lot of reasons, and these routes just kind of get wide open. So there is a look at the corner out getting open. And cover 3 probably plays it the best out of any coverage. If we go to a cover 2, you'll see just how good this can get. But here it is against cover 2, and you can potentially hit the slot fade and also exploit it down the middle. So if we take a look at the replay, I'm sure we had some things open. This slot fade, if you could kind of pass lead it out there, or you could pass lead this corner out up, but then also, I mean, look at how much it opens up the drag. Very dangerous play in setup. Especially if it's like a press cover 2. If this guy doesn't follow him all the way down the field, you could attack that streak. I'm not sure if the fade got opened up late. Let's kind of see. Maybe you can kind of like pass it outside there. But I mean, the corner out definitely could have been open there. You throw it here, boom, that's easy. With it pressed, obviously kind of plays the drag a little bit more. But overall, solid setup. Our last setup for this play is going to be return Y, streak A. And this just gives us a drag. X is on a drag. He's almost on a shorter drag, which is interesting. But Y on a return, very dangerous route. Again, kind of a good man-beating route. You do down on the D-pad, and then we streak A, just a nice clear-out option. And again, you could always block R1. He's on kind of a check and release, I believe. But always going to be kind of an obvious read here. It's a lot better with this return route against cover 2, as you noticed there, than it was against cover 3. Against cover 3, you're probably just hitting that traditional drag route. Let's say they blitz or send the pressure. Obviously, we still got our deep crosser. Nobody's blocking. The blocking in this game is so abysmal. But deep crosser would get open. Return should get open if it's man-to-man coverage. And then, obviously, your drag gets wide open there. So, pretty good setups, and those are it for mesh dig. Let's hop into our next play, which is going to be vert wide delay, and I will show all the formations that we're going to go over actually at this time. So let's move our face cam up. So we're again going over the bunch tight end first, then we're going to go over the trips tight end, then we're going to go over the tight Y off, and then we're going to go over the Y off trips. So a lot of good stuff. Now we're going to go over the vert wide delay, which is this play in the middle here. Now, vert wide delay is good. Again, it kind of has a nice little stock fade. This time it's actually with the X receiver. We're going to try and take advantage of that in a different way. But other than that, like a deep kind of crossing route is solid. And again, good little quick snap play is just dragging A, and you have this kind of deep over route. But it's very good to open up your drag. And then, like, let's say he was using this player, and we'll pretend that he's like following the drag, and you run your kind of stock play. So let's say he kind of follows him. You could hit this right over the top. Now he doesn't move because my controller is idle, but that would be kind of your situation. He's really going to have to kind of pick one of those early, and then the crosser can, of course, get open late. So good quick snap setup. Next one is just drag A, drag Y. Again, just attacking underneath with these routes. Now you need to stop using him. But super simple. Again, good like kind of quick snap plays. And again, you can do the kind of flip thing I talked about earlier. Come out on the right, flip it type thing. But yeah, I mean, you still got your two drags. You can hit them late because that slot fade's actually going to take up those outside zones on the left-hand side up. So you can take advantage of that. And I mean, yeah, just a solid setup. Man coverage would work. This deep crosser may take a little bit more time to get open, but overall it should still get some separation. And if it doesn't, then you can also just put B on the manual deep cross if you prefer, and it's going to get it a little bit better against man coverage. So also just maybe a little bit quicker. You can kind of hit him late as well. So another kind of good quick snap setup. And the last setup we're going to do is drag a streak B, Texas RB, corner Y, and we're going to actually custom stem him down like this. So this is a similar looking setup to before, but I think this does a little bit of better job of opening up the corner out actually. You'll see. I think it's against cover 2 that it's a little bit better. Obviously I would have just taken my drag there. But yeah, you just give yourself a lot of options. You want to try and hit one of those sideline routes, but if not, you're always usually going to have the drag or the Texas route. And they're going to be focused on defending that. So boom, throw it over the top, and that is an easy money play. And again, a lot of people will be pressing online, so that setup I showed before where you have this corner out like hit this, and then the slot fade and the streak, you could also kind of pair it with something like this. And I love that setup because you can create out of any play. But like if he's sitting up there, boom, just hit your drag and call it a day, and it's going to be money. And again, you could always create the setup. And I haven't gotten great at doing it actually, but it should be working pretty good, and it may be better. Y is kind of slow, but that should be an open pass you can hit. My receiver is pretty slow in that slot there, and then you kind of create the same thing out of this play. It probably works a little bit better to attack the sideline just because that guy is starting out with that X wide receiver instead. And again, you have some better options with the running back over here. So this may be more of an option to throw, although it's kind of slow there. And where you could really beat cover 2 is if he doesn't have that mid-read or he's using it, and that streak could get open deep. But, yeah, just kind of a nice variation if it's man coverage. Sometimes those slot fades are good against man coverage. And then, again, you have a few other options as well. So, like, right there, obviously pretty good against man coverage. He gets open over the top, so take advantage of that. And yeah, that's it for verts wide delay. Let's hop into our next play, which is going to be whips, and then I go over stick as our last play. Although there's a few other good bunch tight end setups, like tight end corner can be decent. Or I guess we have two setups out of stick, one tight end corner, and then we have one slot option, which is going to be, I don't even know, on the right there. So let's hop into whips though. Whips is blocked by my face cam, but you'll see how dangerous this play is. Very, very good, underrated play in my opinion. And a lot of these setups are almost out of bunch tight end are more built to beat those kind of cover 4s, those man coverages, those man blitzes, because you're blocking 6 a lot of the time. But again, stock coverage, of course, you will have options underneath routes, drags. First setup for this one, pretty similar. You're just going to create kind of a look at the same thing we did. So we're going to streak B, slot fade Y, Texas RB, and then we're going to corner X, and we're going to custom stem him down, just like so. So keeping kind of the same look. And again, against zone coverage, I don't love it because you don't really have any other options over there on the left. I would stick to more man, but I think against cover 4, this setup would be pretty solid. And let's actually just come out and cover 4, because I think a lot of these setups would be better against like a cover 4, out of whips at least. And I can audible to some other stuff in the man coverage, but let's say you are facing cover 4, and you'd honestly, I guess you don't have to corner him because he's already kind of on that corner route, so I can delete that. But all these setups are going to have this kind of corner route, so it's good to get aware with it. But again, slot fade Y, streak B, and then just Texas RB. So heavy man beaters because A is going to beat man coverage. Y, we saw, is going to be pretty solid against man. This is cover 4. That was a bad read, but that's kind of how it usually gets opened against a lot of those coverages. Yeah, in Texas. So another look. Boom, just an easy pitch and catch over there. And that's how you see it get open most of the time. And again, if you hard flats, of course, people get worried about those drags, especially if you kill them with it the way I've been showing you guys. They're going to start going hard flats, and that's where you can take a chance over the top. So other routes, this route, usually pretty solid. Now he actually got a really good match there with the safety taking that route. But like if he was on a drag, you could see how he would pretty much get open. Let's try Let's try pressing and just seeing how it changes. You see X wide open again. This route should be getting open. And man coverage is going to be kind of the same thing that we did earlier. Now, these zig routes or whip routes are a little bit delayed, I would say. So they take a little bit longer to get open, but they still do work pretty well. Y, again, you should be getting some separation over there, hopefully, in that slot fade, which we do there, even though it may take a little bit of time. Zig, of course, can get open against man. Texas route should be getting open against man as well. So that's a good setup. Setup number two, we're going to streak B, slot fade Y, Texas RB, drag A. So, I mean, basically the same thing we kind of showed out of that previous play, but of course we can hit it out of whips as well. So really just the same thing that we kind of showed. Boom, hit your corner route, you can hit your drag. Let's focus on the drag and the angle route since we know that corner route's going to be open. And I didn't mean to do that, but actually, looks like B could be open. Let's run that again. Looks like B could create some kind of issues with the match, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like it does. So you can kind of, now we get a bad throw. But looks like you could kind of bomb cover 4 over the top with that setup. I don't know if that was the same with the angle route. I'll have to double check here, but we already kind of talked about the setup a lot, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time doing it. Just showing you the... So you kind of can. Obviously, it's going to take a good throw power, but put your fast receiver at that B spot or in the Y spot because they're going to be running those go routes and crossers a lot. Obviously, if you flip, I think that changes. Keep that in mind. So last setup for this play, streak Y, and we're just going to custom send this corner out. But of course, this looks a little bit different. We have 2 zigs now. We keep R1 on his route. You could block him if you prefer, but we're trying to open up our zigs really here. Now, over here on the left and against this cover 4, it is not great. I think it would be a lot better against a cover 2, so it's audible to that. But obviously the corner out, he gets left in that play and he's open. So this is cover 2, and these guys get wide open. So against the Tampa 2, both the zig routes should be open. R1 actually does kind of help, so I would leave him if you're able to. And the only reason you wouldn't is if he's sending a ton of pressure. So that was cover 2. Let's run a cover 3 here. And again, similar. Both these guys open, and this is a good spacing, good kind of short yardage play because he's going to have to defend either A or B with his user, and then always on that left side, X or B will be open. So really, you would have to get baited to have trouble with this. And of course, if it is man-to-man coverage, this is going to be a great man beater. Y is open, A is open, X is open, B is open. I mean, literally 4 people open against man coverage and just take advantage. So let's hop into our next play, which is going to be stick. I know I'm spending a lot of time on this bunch tight end. I'll try and keep it kind of a quicker pace throughout the rest of the video, but we have less setups in those other formations than we do in here. So 2 setups for stick, and we're going to kind of run it like mesh if you guys are familiar. So stick is going to be on the right-hand side there. And yeah, we're going to run it like mesh. Again, I'm going to actually cover out cover 4 palms here because we're going to run some kind of man, cover 4 beaters. And then, of course, we can audible around. So the first setup that I like out of stick is drag Y, drag A, and kind of snap the ball. You keep your corner out. And, I mean, just solid setup. Usually a fairly obvious read that you can make here. And again, the quicker you can snap the football, the better. Now, I must have forgot to drag my tight end there, but again, 2 hot routes and then you can snap. Boom. Wide open. So both drags really should be open, and then you just got to make the right decision with your user, or not with your user, but to throw it to. And then, I mean, against zone, it's probably honestly worse than man, just because like this corner out over here doesn't do all that much for you, but you could like check it down at this flat here, and we pick up a good amount of yardage on that. Although the corner out's never really going to be open by itself unless it's man coverage. You have those routes underneath that kind of just make it a little bit better. So again, there's cover 4. And against man, it would be the same thing. This corner out, again, it's not great. You could custom stem it, of course, if you want. Like, if I'm facing man, or a man blitz, rather, then I could just run it like this. Block my running back, 2 drags this corner out. Now, everyone got a little bit congested there, but you could run it like that. Next setup, deep cross Y, streak B, drag A, Texas RB. Interesting looking setup, but it's actually pretty good. The spacing on it does work decent. In my opinion, the drag, again, always opened up out of this offense. The drags will be key. You'll probably be sick of throwing drags if you're running this offense because of just kind of how much they do get open. So, and again, you want to streak B. Could I flip them? Technically I could. I don't see too big of a point in doing that, but maybe spacing is a little bit better. It's dealer's choice. I kind of like it better against zone the other way, so that's why I opted to run it that way. But some people may like it better the normal way. So again, drag A, Texas RB, streak B, deep cross Y. Obviously, if it's man or cover 4, the crosser, drag, angle route. If it's traditional, cover 2, drag, potentially your crosser in the middle of the field, but also this little Texas route underneath should work wonders. So good options there. Let's hop into tight end corner now, where we have one setup. Now tight end corner is going to be at the bottom here on the right side. And this setup is pretty good. I like it. I like to streak X, drag A, Texas RB, and then I custom stem Y down. So it looks kind of like this. Again, trying to open up Y. Now, sometimes Y is a little bit of a tight throw with the streak because the streak is inside still and not outside. So here, we're going to open up our drag. I think against cover 3 is where you can maybe hit that route. Let's try it. And again, drag angle route, just a money concept out of this, and you'll see more of that in trips tight end. But here's that route against cover 3. You kind of have a window. I probably didn't time it well or have a good pass lead, but you do. And then, of course, no, come back. So we can streak this player, or I guess I would start him tight, streak him. Dude, streak, and then I would motion out so he's on the non-one. But sometimes this one gets problems too. But you could do this, and then I guess that didn't. I honestly made it worse. I would never do that actually. Just trying some stuff on the fly, but I would not try that. But against, let's say cover. I guess I can't go to cover 4 because I started in it. Let's say we run cover 6. Hopefully we have the cover 6 on that side. Then boom, he again should be open over there, getting some bad throws, and that guy is honestly slow and short, but you should get it to work overall pretty well. And yeah, decent against man. You have the post route, which can get open against man as well. So let's say you're facing a heavy man look. Then of course our corner out should do work, and then hopefully our post can get open. Inaccurate ball, but overall it works. Regardless, let's hop into our last play, which is going to be slot option. Now, slot option is going to be on the right side here once again, and this is a decent like kind of cover 3 leader, but you can also just use it as normal. So what you can do is I like to smart out X, I zig B, streak Y, corner A, and flat RB. Overall, just like a kind of a good spacing play, create some issues. So again, that was against cover 2. Sorry about this, I'm a little zig B, streak Y, smart out X, corner A, flat RB. And yeah, we can also try and open up this post. It's not going to be super open against cover 2, but you can kind of throw it in that window. And also, if he doesn't get bumped, he should be even more open there. let's say we face cover 3. Should be a similar look. You can hit this flat, but also this post does come across open. So we're trying to hit the post on the backside because we haven't really ran many of those, especially with that X receiver. And that's what you kind of do. So let's hop into gun trips tight end though. All right, now I actually forgot to show the RPO word bubble, so let's talk about that, and then we'll go into the trips tight end and talk about what I like. So the RPO word bubble is on the left here, and this play is so good for so many different reasons. So just very difficult to defend. Now, cover 4 is going to do probably better than, like, honestly, most stock defenses. It's even better against, like, a cover 2, your cover 2s of the world, and those different ones. So, really, you're, again, watching this linebacker with the star underneath and that 6 linebacker. If he plays the receiver, you're handing it off. If he plays the handoff, like he does here, he kind of plays the handoff, then you throw this guy out here. Now, again, it's a lot better against, like, a cover 2. The cover 4 spacing actually makes it pretty good for whatever reason. Let's run, like, a Tampa 2. And you see a lot better, and it's super easy, really good like third down play, and people are going to have to play certain coverages and certain players in different zones, and probably because of all the man beaters we have out of this formation, they can't just sit in like press everybody, run man-man coverage because you have the crossers, the post corners, like you just absolutely can't because the corners can come from both sides. You can't sit in cover 0 and just stack the box, which makes this play even better. Now, even with the linebacker, Barton, number 8, even if him playing the run, you still should be able to hand it off and pick up like a good amount of yards on most occasions, 5, 6, 7 yards. And then, again, usually the way they try to stop it is like, okay, I'm sick of this. What are we doing? You'll just man him up. If they do that, then, of course, he's not going to play the run, and you're going to get like 10 yards running the ball. So, again, read him. Actually make the read, though. Don't just assume. And if he plays him, hand it off. Obviously, if he doesn't, throw it. So he may try to user him, which is not going to bode well because he's going to have to play super aggressive on the bubble or it's not going to work. So good for third down, good red zone play, really good red zone play. But let's talk about the trips tight end. What do we like out of trips? Now, I don't know what happened to my face cam, but what trips is good. I like PA counter go on the right there. Stock streak with X is a big reason we like that, but crosser is good. We have the RPO alert bubble in there, which is another very solid RPO run. Curl flat is our bread and butter. And then we have X spot on the right. So audibles, pretty self-explanatory. And we will start out with curl flat. And I'll come out and cover 4. This a little bit more here, just to show it kind of, cover 4 is going to kind of play like man does. And let's actually remember to move our face cam down because I just recorded this whole formation and forgot to move my face cam so you couldn't see anything. But first setup, Zigbee Custom Stem A. So now, one of the big reasons curl flat is good is because of this corner out. It's not like the normal ones. This is the normal corner out if you put the tight end on the corner out. And with this one, if you custom stem it down, it's like this. It's just too flat, to be honest. It's not good against like zone. Technically, it could work, but it's not as clean going up the field, and it doesn't stretch out those zones. So overall, what you would want to do is just custom stem this one down, and that's why this play is so good. So again, Zigbee, custom stem him down, and against cover 4, the zig should be money, but also the curl should be getting open against cover 4 a lot of the times. So we can hit that, show it one more time, or let's go to just some other coverages. Say Tampa 2. Tampa 2 actually plays the zig very well, but the flat is going to be open, and then the angle route is going to be open. So boom. Overall, pretty solid, and we'll have this custom stem tight end, so don't worry. We will throw it. We have him in every setup. We have 4 setups for this play. Again, make sure you guys purchase this ebook down below in the description. Makes it super easy to learn this, whole entire playbook. But next setup, pretty much the same thing. We just drag B and then keep A on the corner out. So this is, again, the corner out against cover 4 or man coverage. They're going to play, again, basically the same. And that's what it looks like. And he's just going to get open on that. Now, again, against more cover 2, cover 3, you're going to use him to kind of open up your drag. We'll use running back flats and some other setups. But here's the curl against cover 4. I threw it a little bit, probably late, but dangerous setup there. The curl can get open. A lot of people will run this play and kind of forget about it, but you don't want to do that. So cover 2, who am I going to have on this play? Probably B, probably R1, and probably Y. So, predictably so, we do have both of those players. Or all three of those players, and I mean, super good. Let's run it against cover 3. And I'm going to try and go through, I'm going through as fast as I can. Just got a lot of setups, but cover 3, basically the same thing, only I think you would have X open instead of Y, but even if Y was open, you would just hit it late. Make sure you hit that flat late, because if you throw it too early, you may bounce up, and it'd be maybe a pick. So again, here, curl flat defends the curl, of course, so we would just hit the flat late. And you want to, again, try and wait until he turns around so he doesn't cut up field. But drag open, angle here, corner out, doing its job of pulling up the zone, giving us some run after catch. Next setup, choice B, custom sem A, and then we're going to flat R1. Now, what you can do with R1 is he's going to get pretty open here. But, I mean, that is money in the bank with our corner route. And again, this is against a cover 4 look. And I didn't actually custom sem him down all the way. I think I had him 1 above, potentially, like there. So if you notice that being a little bit of a better difference, you can do that. I didn't necessarily notice that. Sometimes it's so finicky and you can't even tell. But good spacing with this play, curl, flat, choice route. So here I would hit, I don't know what happened to my screen there. What does anybody know what that was? I don't know what that was, but the curl was open. That was weird, but flat would get wide open against cover 2. That's the right read. Against cover 3, I think it would be open as well, and that's why the corner out is so good. You can hit it against man, but then against zone, it's pulling those zones so far up, and nothing can really stop it. So make sure I'm in cover 3, snap the ball. You see your choice routes open. The flat route is open with the running back, and then the flat route's actually open with Y or triangle as well. Anyways, last setup for this play. We're going to custom sem A. Once again, flat RB, drag Y. So here we're actually incorporating the post. So we have this drag, but then we also can hit this post. This is cover 4. First setup, post pretty solid. B is definitely not our best route runner. He's probably the worst receiver we have, but he's making things work for us. Again, custom sem him down. And this is the setup. Drag, of course, open. Flat route probably open as well. If it's Tampa 2, we know RB is going to be open, and then either Y or B should always be open. Now, a little bit of a tighter throw, but you would throw him earlier. Again, he's going to have to decide between Y or RB if he is running cover 2. Then with X, you have him on the backside. Could I put him on like a backside post if I wanted to? You definitely could. Just because it's not in the setup doesn't mean you guys can't change it if you think a setup is better than what I showed. So, again, X or B could definitely get open if you run a setup like that and it is man coverage. But against cover 3, I think our post should be open. But otherwise, he's, again, pulling up those zones, doing his job, right? Now, that guy just followed him all the way. I wasn't expecting him to do that. If that was really what you were trying to open up, maybe you hitch Y or something and it works. Or you put X on the backside post and maybe he's pulled over. But overall, solid setups there, and just mixing it up a bit with a little bit of a better man coverage look. So let's go into the PA counter go. Now with the PA counter go, again, I like that stock streak, but then we also have the crosser. It was on the right-hand side there. So we have 3 setups for this play. The first one being A on a streak, RB on a flat, Y on a drag, X on a post. So kind of your traditional, let's open up the crossing route. Good against zone. Probably won't work great against our cover 4 per se. Obviously, if that free safety wasn't there, he would be getting open. So kind of against man-to-man coverage. But, so I don't prefer this as much against man, although the crosser should get open. Just because the flat route is kind of wasted, the streak is kind of wasted, you're banking on the post a lot. Not my favorite, but it of course does have man beaters and it can get open. Against like a cover 2, should work with trying to open up this crosser. And we get a bad throw, but there you see he is open. So that's definitely what we like. And then let's say it's cover 3. Again, we could just hit our flat or our drag there. We have this post. I don't know why we're getting such bad passes. The post can get open. Let's say he was using the left linebacker. Then that could be open, right? And then, yeah, like press, man-to-man coverage. Obviously, we're sending 5 out, so you wouldn't really run this as a blitz setup. But, I mean, this is too easy not to pass up. But hopefully your post is able to get open, because he would be a good person to use. And, yeah, so setup number 1. Setup number 2, we're going to drag a Texas RB. It's going to look like this. And then we're going to corner Y, and we're going to actually custom stem him down. But be careful, because you're going to custom stem him down once. Only one time. It's going to put him at this depth, which is our perfect depth. You're not going to go down all the way with this one, because we're going to actually try and hit him a little bit deeper. If it's man coverage, of course, it's probably recommended that you would go down all the way, but I like this spacing, and I think you can see why. That was just your standard cover 4. Stock cover 4 should be playing match, but again, sometimes the quarter flat doesn't particularly follow. So again, corner Y, you're going to custom stem him down once. It's probably worse against press, I think we could all admit, but if they're running press, then your crosser could get open, your streak could get open, and it is worse against press, or I guess it's better against press, actually. So that corner out is money, but let's say he takes it away somehow. It's definitely possible. Maybe he switches to a Tampa 2 and it's bagged for whatever reason, you know. It's possible. Then you just hit your drag or your angle route. And then again, if it's like a man look, you could hit your crosser. So overall, a fun setup, and it's definitely something different out of trips. You don't see it particularly all that often. So the crosser is not going to do really anything for you out of this play, although he's going to pull up zones, open up your angle route, but by himself hitting them late, it's not really going to happen unless it's man-to-man coverage. So now, ideally, you want to wait a second and try and hit him in that spot, but it didn't work perfectly for us there. But I think you guys can see this setup is pretty good. Anyways, our last setup, drag B, post A, return Y. I like this setup, and I actually like keeping the play action for this setup. But simple post drag, and then you have this little return route, which is something we haven't really used. We didn't really use all that often. So now cover 4, clearly not the best coverage to run this against. You know, ideally you're hoping Y gets a little bit of separation there. He did not, but that's why cover 1 is one of the best, or cover 4 is one of the best defenses in the game. Let's say you're facing 2-man under, and I kind of dislike when this player. So let's say you're facing something like this. You know, it's possible. Boom. So we like our drag, post. Now, our return isn't getting open at all. I don't know why, but I thought they would be better against man coverage. I guess they're not as good against man as I thought, but this play is going to get a lot better when we start using it against like a cover 2. And then this route can definitely eat, kind of hit it later. So again, it's kind of a good quick snap setup as well. Let's say we face cover 3. The post is obviously who we were kind of trying to hit. And it's definitely the best against cover 3. Cover 2, I think it should potentially get open as well, but it depends on how the mid-read is playing. But this setup is pretty good against cover 3. And then again, cover 4, you can still fit him in, or against man coverage. Now he drops the ball, but ideally should work. And yeah, let's move into, or I guess that was our last setup. Let's go into our next play, which is going to be X spot. X spot's on the right there. Now, X spot probably going to be worse against cover 4 than any of those other plays. But here's weird. Okay, so X spot. So we're going to slant B, we are going to post A, flat RB. This is kind of a traditional setup I've always ran. Slant post, flat combo, and then you have the backside spot route that's going to be solid. So this is it against cover 4. Obviously, looking at him to get open here. Slant should hopefully get open. Which it does. Get a bad pass there, but slant post. Very basic traditional combo. Cover 2. Boom. Slant route is the read here. Of course, your flat's kind of sitting there open a lot of times, but you don't want to throw it unless you have to because you have kind of better options out there. It's a decent quick snap play, but let's say you're facing cover 3. Of course, against cover 3, we're looking to hit the spot route or we're trying to hit this kind of post over the top. So spot route, boom. Love that, just spacing route against zone coverage. And then, yeah, you see how you could hit the post late, but we have the slant there. We'll take that. And yeah, overall good first setup. Now our second setup we're going to do is drag B, post A, Texas RB. So the setup looks pretty weird on paper, but overall it should be good enough. Here it is against cover 4. Drag, going to be our first read. And then, yeah, sometimes I used to think that the post and the angle route would be kind of weird together, but I tried this out a few times and it worked pretty well. So I don't hate it. Boom, post. You see there, the post and the angle route are open and they're at different depths. You actually can't use or both of them. So of course you would expect them to kind of follow the post, come down to the other stuff. And it almost kind of a good quick snap setup, you know, not too many hot routes. Again, you would have the drag or the angle, and then the post is really open as well, and then potentially the spot route could get open late if the zones follow up. And again, pretend that he is a user, the spot route usually will be the one that's getting forgotten. But moving to our last setup, streak B, corner A, flat RB, and let's post Y. So this setup, kind of interesting looking. We try to open up Y. But again, a flat route over there with the running back is going to be good. Against cover 4, again, we want to hit him against cover 4 man. Should forget about him because, again, Y hasn't really been going over the middle a whole ton. He's been on like flat routes, and so you shouldn't really expect it. Again, corner A, flat RB, streak B, post Y. That was it against cover 4. Let's go cover 2, which would probably be the best coverage against this, I would think. But that's where you can hit him. And then the running back should be open over there on the right side, I'm assuming. Cover 3. Oh, we got the bad throw, but you can kind of see the post does get open. It's a little bit later. Spot route, I think, was open as well. And then I'm sure like one of these routes. If it's man-to-man coverage, this is definitely not your best setup, but corner route should hopefully get open, and then you want to hit this route again if you can. So, love that. Let's hop into the RPO alert bubble, which will be our last play of trips, and then we'll move into our next formation, which will be the tight Y off. So, RPO alert bubble here, boom. Basically the same thing on a bunch head end right. I think it's a little bit of a worse version because it's a little bit more spread than compressed. So I think it's a little bit worse. Some people could think it's better though. So again, I would kind of play this the same way. Obviously handing it off if that guy plays him. If he doesn't, then we're going to, or if he plays the bubble, we're going to hand it off. If he doesn't play the bubble, then we would throw it to the bubble every time. So again, the situation would be, okay, I'm sick of this. I'm going to man him up, and then I'm going to try and gap shoot with him. You know, sure, buddy, try that. Now, I can't play with 2 controllers, but that would be the situation, right? So again, like this is press cover 4. Okay, I'm going to man you up on you. Let's just use this. It's like, all right, buddy, please play him. And then we're going to hand it off, and we get like 5 or 6 yards. And that's the easiest 5 or 6 yards you can get. You know, I'm not one to love running the football. I don't run the football all that often, but these are easy runs. These are RPOs, so they don't count as runs if you think about it. And technically they're passes, at least 90% of the time. So, I mean, just the easiest yards you can do. I'm not one to spam it, but use it as much as you want. It works really well. All right, now we got our last 2 formations, which are going to be the gun tight Y off and the Y off trips. I just recorded this whole thing and I forgot to move my face cam, so it was like blocking in the plays the whole time. So we're recording it again, but tight Y off, very, very solid. This was a pretty good formation a lot of people used last year, and it's still good this year, so I'm going to go over it. And I don't know how popular it is, but I think it could become more popular. And I try to build these videos to last the whole year, so who knows how good formations will be in 3 months. Things get patched, things get better, things get worse, things get more popular. So I mainly like 3 plays out of here. This tight end corner plays are big bread and butter. PA slot cross, good second, and then this RPO alert bubble, pretty nasty. Similar to the trips and the bunch tight end. And then switch wide receiver drag, I have in the audibles, although I don't go over it. Again, really only have 6 passing setups and then the run, so kind of a quicker scheme. If you guys want to see a gameplay, definitely be happy to bring that. So let's come out in the tight end corner to begin. Where are you, my friend? On the left. And let's remember to move our face cam. So I'll come out in the cover 4 quarters again. I think I like doing that. Let's move our face cam. Yes, I remembered. So first setup I like to do is deep cross Y and then corner A and block RB. This is mainly a man coverage and cover 4 setup, but if you notice against cover 4, this out route just gets wide open quickly, and usually against man it's the same. He's kind of on that speed out. And again, I think, let's move the ball, but I go with this other corner out against man. I think it's a little bit sharper, but if you want, you could just custom send the other one down, right? So again, deep cross Y, block the running back, and then corner A. Again, up to you on what you want to do with the corner out. Both of them really should get open. Honestly, that one's probably better against man, but against cover 4, it's probably better to custom stem it down, maybe here. Sometimes the spacing with this out route is weird because it's almost like a deeper out route, so we'll try it out. So honestly, they're about even. It's a little bit, because sometimes against cover 4 you want like sharper, so maybe I would want to go down all the way, but with the out route the spacing isn't great, yada yada yada. So let's say it's man-to-man coverage. So again, we have this little return route with X that obviously we're hoping gets open as well. Boom. So he should get open. Obviously our deep cross should take care of business, then the out route should really get open a lot of the time, so we love that. Wouldn't run that setup against cover 2 or cover 3, so I'm not going to show it. And again, that's included in the written version. I actually write the coverages. So if you were facing cover 2, you would just ignore that setup for the whole game if someone was running cover 2. And you would easily be able to know and remember versus trying to reference this video where, how did you do against this coverage? It's just difficult. Anyways, next setup, we're going to kind of use B as a deep cross here. Deep cross B, streak A, block the running back. This setup's a little bit weird. Sometimes it can work. I like it less against cover 4, more against like cover 3, cover 2, so I don't know why I even showed it against cover 4. Against man, obviously a deep cross and a corner out, it can get open. You can also custom stem Y down if you would like, right? So looking for X or B here is really what we're trying to do. You could go with a post instead of the crosser too, dealer's choice at that point. I just like B against cover 2 more so specifically because I know he's going to run underneath that mid read. In years past, that wouldn't really be an issue, but here it is against cover 3. Boom. You want to hit him in this window. So overall, pretty easy money, solid play. Setup number 3, we're going to streak B and just flat RB. Pretty kind of traditional setup against cover 2. I would leave, I think it's against cover 2, I would leave this tight end at his depth, but if it's cover 4, cover 3, I would custom stem him. So here it is against cover 4 with him at that depth, and you see how they match, and it's just a nightmare. Although we ag him. Welcome to the game this year. So if it was cover 4, I would, again, just probably custom stem him, and you could even go as low as you want. So again, streak B, I would probably custom stem it. This is cover 4. And then he would be a lot more open than he previously was. Against cover 3, maybe I custom stem him down 1 or 2, but I'm really trying to hit him a little bit deeper, so let's run it against cover 3. So I would go 1, 2, maybe here. Honestly, maybe just 1. We'll find out, I guess, right? So we have X that should be open, and then the flat route's kind of sitting there as well. So looks like 1 is probably a good depth. Maybe, I think 2 underneath. would just open up your running back more. So if you want to open up the running back, you would custom stem down twice, maybe. But good setup there. And let's run it against cover 2 one last time. So if it is cover 2, we would try and probably leave him at this depth. You could custom stem down once and it would be fine. We get shedded, but that would be kind of how you hit it, and I had to throw it early, but still enough room to catch it. Setup number 4, last setup for this play, streak X, drag B. So we're using the drag angle route combo, and then we have Y over here. So again, if it's cover 4, I'm probably going to custom stem him down. Probably just all the way, to be honest. And then you get like kind of a pick play. Now, they got bumped there more than I had ever seen. Normally it's all good in the hood. But that's cover 4. You basically get like a pick play, which is super good. Would run it like that against man. Against cover 3 and cover 2, again, I'm probably, maybe against cover 3, I would custom stem down too, because you have the drag and you can just kind of hit him. So let's try it against cover 3. He's probably still getting open here. Maybe, no. But I guess he kind of gets open late. Honestly, drag's open and the angle route's open. A lot of people are open. So good setup. And then cover 2 is probably where I would leave him deep, and he should get open. But maybe not, to be honest. So I would probably just hit the drag there. So overall, good setup. Let's go into the PA Go slot cross. Now, PA Go slot cross, I would probably want to be a little bit more on the right hash, just to let you guys know. So let's move it just a little bit over here. Setups for this, I like drag X, streak B, block A, flat RB, and then deep cross Y. So kind of your traditional beater, and maybe it's actually worse from this hash. I don't know. But regardless, X and Y both wide open. He's got to pick one if he's in cover 4 man. And I mean, yeah, pretty simple. It's a very classic deep crosser setup. Of course, cover 3, you're looking to hit that crosser late. Same with cover 2. Don't really have to explain it. I forgot to, and it doesn't matter if you want to keep the running back blocked and keep the tight end in that flat route. Doesn't really matter. Kind of like putting the running back on the flat because he just goes out there just a little bit later. So it's a little bit delayed with the spacing with X too, but it doesn't really matter. I mean, this is cover 4, and he kind of gets open better than the tight end would. So, good setup. Now, this next setup is going to be interesting. I'm definitely going to want to move the ball. For most times in tight Y off, you're going to want the running back on the wide side. But let's do this one. This one's interesting. We're going to corner X. Make sure you corner him here. And then we're actually going to motion him over. You have to corner him before you motion him, because if you motion him over and you corner him, he gets the outside wide receiver hot routes, which is really stupid. I don't know why it's like that, but it is. So then we're going to streak B, and then we're going to deep cross Y, and then we're actually going to custom stem him down all the way like so. So we're trying to open up A or X, and then we have Y kind of coming across the middle. Now what I would do is, again, probably just get the base pass protection. You can keep the play action if you want, but definitely get the base pass protection because it's needed. But cover 4, boom, quick read there. It does take a little bit to set up. Again, some of these hot route setups would be unfortunate if you're doing like a million hot routes, if you're facing the stupid stadium pulse, I know. But again, custom stem him down. What the? I don't know what B was doing, but whatever. So again, here's a look at the setup. Cover 2, let's say it's press cover 2. Boom, hit him over the top like that. And that's why you want to be on the wide side, so you have more space to pass that up the field. Cover 3, you would just hit the flat and then the crosser in the middle of the field. Solid. So we got this RPO alert bubble. Now, this RPO alert bubble is a little bit interesting. It's kind of inconsistent. Now, when you run the bubble, you're probably going to want to be on the wide side, just to tell you guys the truth. So you get a nice little balance of kind of being on the hashes, and you could keep your plays like this. There's certain plays are better from one side or the other, but I like B over here a lot. He runs the same out route that he runs out of tight end corner, and since it was open basically every play in that, it's really going to be open every play in here. Now, could he just like run press man-to-man coverage? Of course, and isn't going to be open? Not particularly. It's not going to be open at least by the time you have to give rid of the ball. So that would be your issue, but again, he's not going to know. And if he's running press man-to-man coverage, we have other setups that would kill him. So bubble, solid. Now it's not as good as the other ones, I would say. But it's going to be kind of the same case scenario. Like, obviously, if this linebacker goes and jumps the bubble, if you're running this a lot and it's torching him, then that's when you would like, okay. And it generally tends to be better against like press than non-press, which is interesting enough. A lot of people wouldn't think that. Obviously, he ran over there and played it, but if he wasn't playing it, then, of course, we would have had a lot more room out there. And the guy that runs the bubble is different, but it doesn't really matter. This guy's slow, but regardless, a lot of space, a lot of working it. And again, if he manned up that player on X or whatever the case may be, then of course we would just hand off the football and take like our 10 yards. Actually, we get 15. Take that. So pretty money, but let's hop into our last formation, which is going to be the Y off trips. And Y off trips is going to be kind of the same Y off trips that we've ran. I've shown this in the Penn State ebook. If you guys watch that, it's pretty much the same. We have one different play that I like a lot, and it's going to be this PA zone shot in the middle, which was not in any of those other ones I ran. I think the Bowling Green or the UCLA. I forgot about the UCLA one. So I guess this is the 5th ebook. UCLA, Oregon State, Bowling Green, Penn State, and now UAB. So if you get the monthly subscription, you get all those for the same price. Definitely worth it. And then we'll be dropping a defensive one soon enough. But PA zone shot, not in the UCLA one or the Penn State one. I don't remember if it's in Bowling Green or not. But regardless, we love flood halfback swing. We love PA double post. Verticals Y option is in this one, which is your one kind of missing piece. But we get PA zone shot, which, more or less replaces it. So the audibles that I would have would be, I guess I didn't set them up, rookie, but we can set them up. PA zone shot, good. We'll replace the inside zone with our RPO. And again, good RPO in every formation just makes us dangerous. Foot halfback swing, and then PA double post is good. So those will be the audibles. We will start out with our PA double post in the middle there. We've shown a lot of PA double posts, and I did like a whole separate video on this formation too. So posted it a good amount at this point, because I've done it in like 3 ebooks, and then I posted a whole separate video. So we've shown this formation a lot, but it is very good. And I always like to record these videos as if it's someone's first time watching my channel. So let's talk about it. So we're going to drag B, RB, and out B. What we're trying to do here is open up. And again, with this play, you definitely have to base your pass protection. But we're trying to open up this wheel route. Now, if it's like cover 4, it's going to be good. If it's cover 3, it's going to be good. Now, I threw that way too late. But cover 4 is good. Cover 3 is good. That is cover 4, and you actually get like a beater. Bad throw. But if you keep RB on the post instead of drag him, you get kind of a cover 4 beater, which I didn't know about until now. But that is good. Definitely want to keep that in your back pocket. I literally just found that. Did not know that worked, but that's interesting. So the traditional setup is to drag RB. I literally forgot to do it, and then I discovered a cover 4 beater. It's just the interesting things. So kind of the traditional way against cover 4, you throw it here, try to possess. Geez. That guy closes ground quickly. Maybe against press it's better, but regardless, I like it against cover 3. I don't like it against cover 2 as much. But you still have X and RB. One of those guys usually open. We're trying to open up this wheel route preferably, but again, sometimes it can be a tighter throw, so be careful. Against press, it's probably better because the outside third can't play it as well. And the curl flat won't play it as well. Again, cover 2, I'm going to be like, okay, it's not really open. So we would probably look for the drags, or we could just hit him late. But hopefully he doesn't run it because we're cooked. So I don't know why. Next setup, we're going to drag A, zig RB. Just a very, again, kind of basic setup. Probably not going to be the greatest man coverage setup or cover 4 setup, but you have the zig. So we like the zig against those options, or as those options, and then like kind of a lot of, probably better against man than cover 4. I mean, boom, post you saw was wide open, zig was probably going to come open late, and then obviously our drag is open, easy money. I don't like it as much against cover 2, but I do like it, I think, against a cover 3. And again, I'm going base, pass protection, I'm blocking the running back. The play actions always have stupid slide protections, but I want to hit him. Sometimes it's tougher, and if I don't like the depth of the stock drag with X, I could just put him on my own drag. Like, if he's annoying me by being in that depth, then, you know, we won't bother. His post should be able to get open sometimes against cover 2-3, really more so if he's using one of those players, but we know how that goes. So last setup for here, we're going to choice RB, flat Y, drag A, come back X. So trying to open up this post here, but nice little choice route, should be sitting open a lot of the time. This is cover 4. The hitch probably was your read there, but I mean, holy crap, we picked up a lot of yards. So hitch was probably the right read. Cover 4 plays that well. Not a great cover 4. I'm sure the drag was open as well. I didn't mean to do quick hike, but everybody's on the hot route besides B here. This is cover 2. Looks like we had B there. I probably just missed my read. I'm going to try and do that again. I was looking at the flat, and the running back got open late, but it took him a while, and I was a little bit confused. Cover 2. That guy should sit there, and then we should be able to hit him in this window. Perfect. So against cover 3, I'm assuming that's going to play the same, but maybe you just hit the choice instead of the post. Guess we'll find out. Again, drag should be open against a lot of these. This is cover 3, and I guess the post ends up being open. Really, all 3 of them were open, so good setup there. Let's go to the flood halfback swing next, though. On the right side. Now, again, I like the post with B, but I like the out route with R1. And then nice little dig with X. So I like to drag RB, or no, zig RB, drag A, Texas Y, come back X, smart route B. So against cover 4, again, kind of your same look, hoping for the zigs, hoping for the drags, angle routes. You've seen like a lot of those concepts. I mean, definitely a lot of those concepts used. I like to smart out B, just if it is man coverage, get them a little bit shorter. And then, I mean, I don't know why they match like that, but sometimes match is dumb. So he gets wide open. If it is like a cover 3, then I'm assuming our post gets open here, hopefully. Drag should get open, angle route should get open. And the post does get open. He drops it. That guy's an awful route runner. It would be a lot better if we didn't have him on the team. But you could also leave him deeper, and maybe that helps too. But good for setup. And our last setup is going to be slant A, smart route B, flat Y, smokescreen X. So kind of a good man-beating concept. I wouldn't run this against cover 4, but I like it against kind of a cover 2, cover 3. We have a slant, out route, post. Hopefully one of them gets open. Usually the out route is your good guy. Against man coverage, even with a pretty good defender on him, he gets open there. And then slant post, kind of self-explanatory, right? Spacing against zone is solid though. If it's cover 2, I think our slant should be open, and then I mean, boom. The cloud flat is going to sit on the smoke screen, which is something we haven't really used. And then if it's cover 3, then probably just hitting him. Hopefully that post can get open. Maybe the post is open if I waited a little longer. So let's get into our PA zone shot now. Now with the PA zone shot, it's in the middle there. PA zone shot is good for one reason, I think, and it's because these little stock fade routes, we try and use those. Now from the outside, they're not as useful, but they're just good clear outs. Kind of the same way in PA counter go, having that sock streak helps. So what I like to do is corner RB. We're going to custom stem that to the lowest, of course. And the spacing for this isn't great, but it works good enough, similar to the tight way off. And then I deep cross A, post X, flat Y. I could leave X on his fade too if I wanted. But boom, cover 4, bada bing, bada boom, wide open. Man coverage, you're hoping that he gets open. And if it is man coverage, what can also happen is B could just get open if he gets a good release against man. We got screamed at. My lord. Why did that happen? Like, what is happening to where that just ever happens? Genius. Now, I don't know why 79 ever double teams there, because that's why you always got to go base protection, because you forget one time and like stupid crap like that can happen. So I will go because I want time to pass. And there, boom, they'll block normal now. Now, cover 2, probably looking at the running back here, but B can also split the difference there, and maybe it's a little bit better. Now, I would just be worried about them clicking on making the pick. Running backs are safer bet. Now, the deep cross depth isn't amazing, and you can't like custom send the deep cross. So, if you want the post and you think that's a little bit better, and I'm referring to like if it's a cover 2, and let's say RB's user defended, and we're trying to hit A on the other side. Maybe the post is a little bit better, although, geez, that guy followed him crazy, so that actually doesn't work. Maybe against cover 3. But that's why you like need a drag underneath if you ever try to hit those crossers, because just having the fade isn't enough. So, it's good to know, but last setup, drag A, deep cross RB, and post B, so now just basic flood concept, and we use that other fade to open that up. I can keep the play action on this one, but cover 4, drag or crosser, one of those guys, hopefully. And again, they have to use someone in cover 4, so they're always going to have a responsibility. If they're using the free safety, then maybe you can start putting X on posts and hitting him. But that would kill him against bunch tight end if he's actually playing like that. Get out of here. So cover 2, obviously crosser. Now, you're going to need time to throw it. So I'm going down on the left stick. But maybe that fade route just makes him play weird. I would have hit the drag there because clearly he's wide open. I don't know why the cloud flat plays with that fade that way. It's a little bit odd to me, but it's okay. And then cover 3, the crosser actually runs as normal, so good to know. But let's talk about the RPO, which is kind of your bread and butter of this offense. You're going to run this RPO probably the most. So this is actually a true heavy run formation. The other ones, I would say, run the RPO in moderation. But with this one, you want to actually use it and abuse it. And it's just very good. I mean, we all know how good this is now. Is there ways to stop it? Definitely. But again, you're going to have to convert resources over there, and there's another element to this RPO that isn't in the other one now. The one out of tight way off, we do have another option, but this one, we could keep it with our quarterback as well. And it becomes kind of a broken QB run. Don't have the most speed at the QB position, but with Vince Young, you could get some nice. And I mean, I like to wait as long as possible, but it's like 10 yards, easy every time. Make sure you do run on the wide side. Get the most space, and again, what they may try to do is like man that guy up, and if they do that, you're also able to just hand the ball off or just keep it. So again, obviously you are going to have to make that read, but I did man him up on that play. I don't know if he played that any better. So they do play it a lot better, but I mean, could I still throw this? I probably still could pick up 5 yards. Because again, you're going to throw it like here, so he's not really in position. Maybe it's blocked still. Regardless, it's probably still 5 yards. And again, can keep it. Be careful keeping it because sometimes it's a little bit hard, but I mean, you definitely want to pass the football if you can. And the good thing is you don't want to abuse this. I would say run it a lot, but you don't want to like spam it to where it's expected. You want to kind of do it. And then you can also hit this right over here. You have it as an option. If you're like, I don't want to hand the ball off, but I don't want to do this. Now, this would be a good time to run the ball, but if I did that, I would have just hit the flat because he was wide open, or you can even hit the flat late. Just be careful not to get the illegal man downfield. But you could even do this. Hopefully get a better animation than that. But that's really going to wrap up the video. If you guys did enjoy, please hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know what ebooks you want to see next. Always doing those suggested ones. Penn State was suggested. UAB was suggested. We did both of them. And subscribe to the channel. Peace. I'm out of here.